Welcome to today's lesson on sexual and asexual reproduction, where we will explore how different methods of reproduction impact genetic variation in offspring. In our roadmap for today, we will examine sexual reproduction, which involves the fusion of male and female gametes, which are sperm and egg cells in animals, and pollen and egg cells in flowering plants. This process leads to the formation of genetically diverse offspring through meiosis. Additionally, we will look at asexual reproduction, involving a single parent and producing genetically identical offspring, solely through mitosis. We will also compare the mechanisms of meiosis and mitosis, focusing on how meiosis produces non-identical cells, whilst mitosis produces identical cells. Today's lesson explores how the processes of meiosis and mitosis contribute to the different processes of reproduction in organisms. Understanding these concepts helps explain the mechanisms behind genetic variation and the propagation of identical genetic material. This insight not only enriches our comprehension of fundamental biological processes, but also has practical implications in fields like genetics, agriculture, and medicine. Let's get started. Sexual reproduction results in offspring with genetic variation, which is a key factor in the diversity of life. Let's break down the crucial steps. In humans and many other organisms, gametes are the sex cells, sperm and egg, that are formed through a special type of cell division called meiosis. Unlike mitosis, meiosis results in cells that have half the number of chromosomes of the parent cell. For humans, this means each gamete contains 23 chromosomes. During meiosis, a single cell undergoes 2 rounds of division. In the first round, homologous chromosomes, one from each parent, are separated. In the second round, the sister chromatids, the copies made during DNA replication, are separated. This results in 4 non-identical gametes, each containing half the number of chromosomes as the original cell. When a sperm cell fuses with an egg cell during fertilization, they form a zygote. This zygote has a complete set of 46 chromosomes in humans, 23 from each parent. Because the gametes come from 2 different individuals, the resulting offspring has a unique combination of genetic material. This genetic variation is crucial for evolution and adaptation. Like animals, flowering plants reproduce sexually. Their gametes include pollen, equivalent to sperm, and egg cells. During fertilization, pollen from one flower fertilizes the egg cell in another, or sometimes the same flower, leading to the formation of seeds. These seeds grow into genetically diverse plants. Asexual reproduction, in contrast, involves only one parent and produces offspring that are genetic clones of the parent. Here's how. In asexual reproduction, there is no need for a mate or fertilization. The offspring inherit all their genetic material from one parent. This process occurs through mitosis, a type of cell division where a single cell divides to form 2 genetically identical daughter cells. Each daughter cell has the same number of chromosomes and the exact same genetic information as the parent cell. There are many examples of asexual reproduction. Bacteria commonly reproduce through binary fission, where the bacterial cell divides into 2 identical daughter cells. Many plants can also reproduce asexually through methods like budding, where new plants grow from parts of the parent plant. For example, strawberry plants produce runners, which are stems that grow horizontally and produce new plants at intervals. Some animals, like certain species of starfish, can regenerate and reproduce asexually from their body parts. Let's highlight the differences between these 2 types of cell division. The purpose of mitosis is growth, repair, and asexual reproduction. This results in cells that are genetically identical to the parent cell and maintain the same number of chromosomes as the parent cell. The purpose of meiosis is the production of gametes for sexual reproduction. This results in cells that are genetically different from the parent cells and halves the number of chromosomes, producing gametes with half the number. The genetic variation resulting from meiosis and sexual reproduction is crucial for the survival and adaptation of species. Variation allows populations to adapt to changing environments, resist diseases, and provides the basis of evolution. Let's work through some questions to consolidate our knowledge on meiosis and mitosis. Question 1 states, a cell is observed to undergo division, resulting in two new cells that are genetically identical to the original cell. Which type of cell division is this? As the end result are two new cells that are genetically identical, the type of cell division observed is mitosis. In question 2, a single cell undergoes division and produces 4 new cells, each with half the number of chromosomes of the original cell. What type of cell division has occurred? This feature is specific to meiosis, where the number of chromosomes is halved and genetic variation is introduced. Therefore, the division described is meiosis. Let's look at one last question. We need to explain why sexual reproduction results in greater genetic variation in offspring compared to asexual reproduction. Meiosis results in gametes with half the usual number of chromosomes. These chromosomes are passed on randomly from each homologous pair from the parent cell. Reproduction involves the fusion of male and female gametes, combining genetic material from two parents. The combination of different sets of genes from two parents leads to genetic variation. Therefore, sexual reproduction results in greater genetic variation due to the combination of genetic material from two parents, and the process of meiosis introduces further variation. Today's lesson covered how meiosis and mitosis contribute to reproduction and genetic variation. We began by examining sexual and asexual reproduction. Sexual reproduction involves the fusion of male and female gametes, for example, sperm and egg cells, resulting in genetic diversity among offspring. This diversity arises from meiosis, a cell division process that produces non-identical gametes with half the number of chromosomes. In contrast, asexual reproduction involves a single parent and produces genetically identical offspring, or clones, through mitosis, a cell division process that maintains chromosome number and produces identical cells. We further learned that meiosis creates 4 non-identical gametes with half the number of chromosomes, promoting genetic variation, while mitosis generates 2 identical daughter cells. Understanding these processes is crucial for exploring genetic variation, inheritance, and evolution. Today's lesson covered how meiosis and mitosis contribute to reproduction and genetic variation. We began by examining sexual and asexual reproduction. Sexual reproduction involves the fusion of male and female gametes, for example, sperm and egg cells, resulting in genetic diversity among offspring. This diversity arises from meiosis, a cell division process that produces non-identical gametes with half the number of chromosomes. In contrast, asexual reproduction involves a single parent and produces genetically identical offspring, or clones, through mitosis, a cell division process that maintains chromosome number and produces identical cells. We further learned that meiosis creates 4 non-identical gametes with half the number of chromosomes, promoting genetic variation, while mitosis generates 2 identical daughter cells. Understanding these processes is crucial for exploring genetic variation, inheritance, and evolution.